There is talk going around about you right now, this week, maybe this very day. Your name is traveling throughout conversations at a speed it has never traveled before, jumping from mode to mode, from group chat to phone call, from one circle into circles you have never even entered. And I know what your stomach just did when I said that. That was familiar drop because for most of your life hearing that people are talking about you means wanting damage, distortion, someone somewhere reshaping your story into a weapon. But that is not what this is. And by the end of this message, you are going to understand that the gossip spreading about you right now is the best thing that has happened to your name in years because the story being passed around isn't the lie they start, it's the truth they couldn't stop. Let me explain what actually happened because you only ever saw half of it. For a long, there was a version of you circulating out there that you didn't create. You know this, you felt it. You walked into rooms that were already cold before you said a word. You noticed people treating you according to information you never gave them. Someone or several someones had been editing you behind your back, and their edit was ugly, too sensitive, too difficult, too prude, fake. Whatever the flaw was, it was engineered to the one thing make people comfortable dismissing you. And here is the move they never saw coming. You didn't fight the edit, you outlined it. While the false version of you was being whispered around, the real version of you kept showing up, kept being consistent, kept treating people well who could do nothing for you, kept dislining to trash the very people you knew were trashing you, even when handing back a little position would have felt like justice. And slowly, invisibly, a collision began because everyone who heard the whisper eventually met the reality. And when the story and the person don't match, people don't say anything at first. They just quietly file it. One person files it in, then another, and then someone finally says it out loud. That is the moment everything you are experiencing now was born. Somewhere recently in a conversation you were not part of, one person defended you. Unprompted, they heard the old edit repeated one more time, and something in them refused to let it pass. They said some version of that's not true, I not them, that's not who they are. And here's what you need to understand about rooms, it only takes one person breaking the script to make every other person in that room admit what they had been politely thinking. Suddenly, it wasn't one defense, it was a truth of people confessing they never bought the story. That is the gossip that is spreading now. The correction and corrections travel faster than lies because a lies work to carry and truth carries itself. The name information moving through your circles right now sounds like this. They never lost their temper not once. Did you not notice that they were the only one who kept their word in that whole situation? They helped and never mentioned it. I only found out later. Everything they said would happen happened. The whole think was twisted and they never even defended themselves. Do you understand what happens to a name when sentences like that start attaching to it? It stops being a name, it becomes a reputation of that particular kind, calm, constant, unprovocable, quietly proven right, changes how every single person apologizes you from now on. Which brings me to the second half of the title, the part you have already started to feel without being able to name it. Nobody dares to play with you anymore. Have you noticed the shift? The people who used to test you have gone strangely careful. The ones who used to speak over you now let you finish. The ones who used to constantly forgot remember you for certain people who owe you apologize have become extremely polite instead hoping politeness will pay the debt. You are not imagining any of it. Here is the mechanism behind it, and it is beautifully simple. People only play games with those they believe are unwitnessed. Every manipulator, every provoker, every gossip merchant runs the same silent calculation before choosing a target. If this goes wrong, who will believe them over me? 4 years the maths worked against you. Your name had been pre-damaged for so any complaints you made could be dismissed as more evidence of the edits you were in their calculation safe to mystery. The spreading truth just destroyed that math. Now they run the same calculation and get a terrifying answer. Everyone will believe them. The room has flipped. The benefit of the invisible currency that decides every ambiguous situation has moved to your side of the table, and people who operate in shadows can feel lighting change before anyone else. That's why they have gone quiet. That's why the game stopped almost overnight, not because they grieve a conscience, because the audience switched sides and their kind never performs without a friendly audience. So, what do you do with this new position? The three things, and the first one matters most. Don't relax into revenge. There will be tension now that the room finally believes you to spend some of this news credibility settling old accusations to tell your side loudly now that it would land. Don't your slice spoil this. Your restaurant is the foundation, the whole reputation stands on the moment you start swinging the sword of your good name. It begins to dull. Let the people who wronged you live with an opponent for worse than your anger. Everyone else awareness. Second, keep being exactly what the gossip says. Your reputation is a promise your name makes before you arrive. From now on, rooms will expect the calm one, the solid one, the one who keeps their word. Meet that expectation every time, not for them, but because it is simply who you already are. The gossip only ever catch up to the truth, just keep being the truth. Third, notice who defended you before it was safe to. Somewhere in your circle is at least one person who spoke up for you when your name was still a liability. You may never learn exactly who, but watch for the people whose warm toward you never fluctuate with the weather of your reputation. Those are your people. That is your real circle. Everything else is audience. The talk is spreading, and for the first time in your life, you don't need to chase it, correct it, or fear it. Just stand still and let your name do what you build it to do. And if something in your chest loosened while you listen to this, if you thought of a specific room, a specific shift, a specific person who suddenly went careful around you, that is your confirmation. You already sensed it, the tide turning. Today it simply got named. Walk into this week with your shoulders back. The story is finally yours.